This is the future. Evolution.
Hey, well, you gotta mute that right now. Sorry, I forgot. You gotta mute it right now. I'm going live. What's up, Tendies tuning in? You can let us know if everything sounds good. I probably just got real loud there. My mic check. Let us know in the chat how things sound. Got Coach Devin here, Coach Spidey live from our houses because of this pandemic that we're in, and we're going to talk about it today and how it's going to affect our training. And you can see Coach Nate on the screen. I'm going to hand it over to you. I'll hand it over to Coach Nate for talk about what we're gonna do today. Oh, we gotta take him off. He muted himself. I got.
Hey, what's up, Ken?
There he is.
This is Coach Nate, and we're just really excited that you guys can join us today. It's kind of a first run, so you guys are part of the pilot project for this. But yeah, we're just excited during kind of a strange and uncertain time where most of us are in our homes and we can't be at Goalrobber. That can still join you guys and share some ideas and learn together, I guess. And so We're going to be talking about, of course, Tendy Talk is all about like the whole person approach. And so at Goal Robber, the most obvious thing that we do is train goalies on ice. But we're at the gym, we're working on strength, vision, flexibility, nutrition, and we also want to make sure that we're dealing with our addressing our mind and staying sharp. So that's what mindset and Tendy Talk is all about. And so today, as is tradition for our mindsets, we're going to take a little time to journal. And if you guys don't have a journal or something to write with, and you have a chance to go grab a pen and paper, you're welcome to do that. But the three things that we always journal about in Tenny Talk are the three gratitudes. So three things I'm grateful for, three things that would make today a success, and then I am statements, which are our daily affirmations. And so we're just going to give you a moment. We'll take a moment here to either think about or to journal about those three things. Okay, so that should be up on the screen here in just a second. But again, the three questions are, especially in kind of uncertain times, I am grateful for, and we're going to list at least three. Maybe you know, when our schedule is disrupted and things are uncertain, we could even shoot for 3 to 10 of those. So I'm grateful for three things that would make today successful, and then I am statements. So those are daily affirmations. I'll give you a quick example of each of these. So number one, I am grateful for. I am grateful for the fact that I get to spend some time with my wife, and she's a teacher, so she's home from school, and her and I have been able to spend a lot of quality time. So I'm really grateful for my wife. Three things that would make today successful. For me, one of the big things that would make today a success is making sure that I put at least 2 or 3 hours towards my schoolwork and my PhD. And then an I am statement, that's an affirmation. I'm going to say that I am strong and healthy. And you know, with the coronavirus and different things going around, I think it's really important that we remind ourselves that we're strong, we're healthy, we're capable of being well in this uncertain time. So just a few minutes. This will give other people who are going to join in to our live stream a little time to join as well. But give you you know, 3 to 5 minutes to do some journaling and thinking about these three things. We'll see in just a little bit. let's see, can they hear me? If I'm not here. Hey, what's up, guys? So we're back here, and hopefully you've had a chance to do a little bit of journaling. Um, I think this is just such a great practice for us. Something that we'd like to try to do every single day. I'm going to show you here. I've got my journal. Actually, I've got several different journals that I carry around. This is my big journal, and I would say throughout life, I have gone through probably 10 of these. I know it seems a little bit like kind of old school now that there's all this technology, but you know, it doesn't have to be paper and pencil. I think there's something quieting about that. You know, we're constantly connected to our phones, our computers, and so on. Just sit down with a paper and pencil in a quiet place every single morning and put down some of our thoughts. I think is an incredible habit to develop. So I hope you guys are able to do that from time to time, and that you're making it a habit, and a habit takes some time. So, all right, well, we're going to move on to the focus for today, which is the title of the talk today is Be Intentional. Okay, so we want to be intentional in everything that we do. So a few things that we're going to do today, I'm going to preview these really quickly for you, and do appreciate everyone's patience with our technology stuff, because this is the first time we're trying this YouTube live, and so there's probably going to be a few kinks that we get out today. Fun to be a part of that, maybe a few bloopers as well. But okay, so we want to focus on the controllables. So there's so much going on today, right? And you turn on the news, social media, whatever, and there's all this crazy stuff going on. You know, a lot of people are fearful and they feel out of control. So we're going to talk today about how we can focus on the things that we can control. So control the controllables. Talk about prioritization. How can we prioritize the things in life that are most important to us? So we don't want to just get caught up in all the things that can distract us, but we have to be the authors of our own life, and we have to prioritize the important things. And then finally, is to create a productive schedule. So I know that we're going to be in our homes. There's no school for at least a couple weeks here, but it could be longer. Who knows? And so we have to be disciplined to create a schedule that's going to keep us healthy, it's going to keep us vibrant, and it's going to help us to be our very best. So it's a little preview into what we're going to talk about today. So moving on to the next slide. Just 1 second here. So first of all, control the controllables. Sense of control is a key aspect to confidence and overall mental health. So actually for my PhD, what I'm doing right now is studying goaltender motivation. And one of the big keys for for motivation, and of course goalies and anybody, is that we have a sense of control. So if you feel out of control, it's really bad for our mental health. People who feel anxiety or depression, oftentimes that comes from this feeling of being out of control. And so we want to try to bolster that, and we want to focus on the things that we can control, go of, or just accept the things that we can't control. So there's this mantra that I tell my students often when I was teaching goaltenders and myself, and it is, whatever you focus on increases. Okay, so if we focus on the crazy stuff that's going on in the world, the negativity that's in the media, these different types of things, or other people's negativity, then that thing is going to increase in our minds. If you are thinking about a particular person and all you focus on is the negative attributes, maybe they're not very kind or not very patient or whatever the case might be, then that thing is going to increase in your mind about them, and they'll probably become more and more like that. as opposed to focusing on their positive attributes. And so a few benefits that we get from focusing on the controllables or controlling the controllables is that we'll be less stressed out because we're focusing on the things that can actually be changed. We're going to be more positive, and we're going to be more solution driven. So again, instead of focusing on the things, the negative things that we can't control about other people, we can focus on the controllables, and usually that involves us looking in and looking at ourselves, because we can control ourselves, but we can't control other people. So there's a few, next slide here, I'm going to talk about a few different things and kind of compare and contrast. So one of the uncontrollables is our current circumstance. Okay, our current circumstance is that we're not able to go to school. We're not able to go outside or go to our favorite restaurants. We're not able to do a lot of things. So that's part of our current circumstances. And so instead of focusing on the current circumstances, which is not really controllable to us, we want to try to focus on our mindset. Okay, and our mindset, as we know, is such an incredibly powerful tool. So instead of focusing on the circumstances of today, we want to try to focus on facts over fear. You've probably heard that a lot in the media, is focus on the facts, not just the fearful things of what could happen, but what is happening and what are the statistics and what we want to focus on. So there's a lot of good going on in the world. We can find that. We can also focus on how we can become better people. So we'll talk about this here in just a little bit, but we have a ton of time that we probably didn't have in previous months or weeks because, you know, you're not at school, a lot of people aren't at work, we've got a lot of time. So how can we become better people with that time, and how can we help other people? And then finally, for you attendees who were at the Tendy Talk about being nervous versus being excited, we can actually become, instead of being nervous, we can replace that nervousness with a statement of, I'm excited. So instead of saying, I'm nervous about the coronavirus, I'm nervous about not going to school, I'm nervous about not being able to do things I normally do, we could say, I'm excited. So I'm excited at the fact that I get something new in my routine. I get to do things that I haven't been able to do before. I'm excited for the opportunity to develop a new skill set. I'm excited to be able to spend time with my family. I'm excited to maybe even be challenged in the face of adversity and see what we can do to become better people. So the current circumstances is uncontrollable, but our mindset and how we deal with those circumstances is controllable. The next is the possibility of getting sick. Okay, now this is kind of an interesting one, but that's in some ways the possibility of getting sick is uncontrollable, right? I mean, the reality is that we could get sick. The reality is that we could get a cold, or we could get the flu, or we could get other diseases. And so just the fact that we have something like the coronavirus doesn't change the fact that we have the possibility of getting sick. But the controllable is us focusing on the likelihood of getting sick. So how can we decrease our likelihood of getting sick? Whether it's a cold, flu, coronavirus, anything, well, we can focus on our wellness, right? So getting movement in, making sure that we're sleeping enough. This is one of the biggest things, in my opinion, that we can do as people in this time, is to make sure that we're getting good sleep, quality sleep, as well as a lot of sleep. So we're taking cat naps, you know, those types of things, and getting good quality sleep. We had a Tendy Talk just about sleep a while back. And if you're interested, I've got a PDF that I'd love to share with anybody who wants to know. I mean, it's got like 21 different tips about how to get good quality sleep from scientists who focus on the field of sleep and sleep studies. So the last one is social distancing. Now, you've heard about that. It's trying to kind of stay in your homes, not, you know, get in groups that are larger than 50 or even 10 now. And that's one of the reasons we've had to, unfortunately, close Goalrobber down for a temporary time here. So don't focus on the possibility of getting sick, although it is a possibility, but focus on decreasing the likelihood of getting sick. And then the final one that I want to talk about is an uncontrollable, is being at home. Now, I'm not sure, I know that there's some people out there that are homebodies, I'm not really a homebody. I actually really get energized when I'm out and about and in public. I'd rather kind of be going and doing my thing. But my wife, and I know a lot of different people, Coach Butts tells me that he's kind of become more of a homebody over the years and really enjoys that. But again, we don't really know how long we'll have to be in our homes as the primary location, but we can't control that, right? That's not something we can control, but what we do there at home and use our time is something that we can control. And so actually that's what I'm really excited to talk about today is prioritization, how we're going to use our time. Now, this is such a great lesson, and it's only accentuated because of the current circumstances. It's probably always a good idea that we talk about our time because it's actually time is one of the most valuable things that we have. You think about it, right? There's a finite amount of time we have on earth, and everybody has the same amount of time during the day. So what we do with it is incredibly valuable. So that'll be our next big focus and kind of the big focus for today's Tendy Talk. So again, be intentional. And the first element is to control the controllables and not waste our time on the things that we can't control. All right, so moving on to the next slide here, I just kind of put a collage together of the different things that we would be wise to use our time for while we're at home. Okay, so I just have a few visuals. I know pictures are worth 1,000 words. And so I've got in the upper left-hand corner, we've got some stretching, some movement, got some chess going on. That's my nephew playing chess. So some hobbies, some productive hobbies that might make us better. Helping people out. We're probably very fortunate compared to a lot of people who are struggling in this time. So find ways that we can help other people out. Maybe it's the elderly. Maybe it's people who are sick. Maybe it's people who financially need some help. Find ways that we can get outside of ourselves and help one another. It's really something that is good for mental health, and it's just the right thing to do. The upper right-hand corner is eating healthy. Try to eat healthy during this time because you're fueling your body with all these nutrients and minerals and hydration. That's going to help us avoid getting sick. Picture Pascal in the lower right. I'm a crazy cat guy, so I take pictures of my cat. But sleep, lots of cat naps. If you're tired, at night, make sure you have a good sleep schedule, by the way. And so we don't want to be staying up till 2 in the morning and then, getting up at noon and then we're kind of discombobulated. So try to keep a regular schedule. We'll talk about that later. And then finally, in the middle and the largest portion of this picture is your studies. I know a lot of teachers are trying to connect with their students in a distance. And for our high schoolers, you're going to be in college soon. For our college athletes, that's an important piece because I know college campuses are continuing their work. For our younger students, your education is important. So find ways to connect well with your teachers. Maybe you can work ahead if you've got final tests that will be coming up later in the year. But make sure that you're filling your day, you're filling your picture of life with important things that matter. And I'm just going to really briefly talk about this. The alternative to all these positive things on the next slide are things that are a waste of time. Now, it doesn't mean we can't have some time for leisure. So like video gaming or on social media, or just wasting our time with frivolous things, TV and stuff like this. That's just not going to make us a better person. So don't focus your time on proportion on the things that aren't going to be most helpful to you. Okay, so next slide. We are going to talk about an idea that we covered in mindset before. And again, different people have been able to attend different mindsets. So by the way, I'm going to mention here that we have our chat, I think is working. I'm not sure, but Coach Devin was trying to get the chat to work on our YouTube live stream. And so if you have any comments or questions as you're tuning in here, feel free to chat down below. And we actually want you guys to be a part of the conversation. You might have to refresh your browser. So if you want to go ahead and refresh it, that might be helpful if you're not seeing the chat down below. But let's see here. I'm just going to look at this real quick to see if I can even say something in the chat real quick. Oh yeah, it's on the right-hand side if you've got full screen. So I'm just going to type in here, hey, attendees. And yeah, would love for people, anybody who's got that available to tune into that chat so we can see what's going on. Okay, we can answer any questions that you have and so on. So again, back to our focus here, which is being intentional. Okay, be intentional. So we talked about the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and that's a book by authored by Dr. Stephen Covey, and he breaks up all of our activity into 4 quadrants. Okay, so as you can see on your screen here, there are 4 quadrants, and they're made up of topics that are important or not important, and then there's the urgent and the not urgent. Okay, so if you kind of do a little analysis here in the top right corner, you see that that's going to be the important and not urgent stuff. Now, a lot of people think that, man, we shouldn't stay in the, we shouldn't be in the not urgent. But we've talked about this before, but really that's where we want to put most of our energy, is in the important and not urgent quadrant. So if you think about that, the things that are important in life, we want to do them early or be proactive about them. So these are actually the not urgent things. Okay, so prioritize those in the green box, the important and the urgent. That's what we want to prioritize in our life. So this is the stuff that really matters in life when we're investing in ourselves and others, and when we're thinking about the future. So it's important, but it's not urgent yet. That means we're planning ahead. Okay, most of our time should be spent in this important and not urgent. Now, the gray box is the urgent and important. So it's still important, but it's urgent now. Now, if you think about that, you might go, man, I'd want to be in the urgent and important section. But we're so used to living in kind of a state of crisis, or like being surprised by things, or when we don't manage our time well, then things become urgent, right? So we want to manage things that fall in the urgent and important. Okay, now a crisis, health crisis, or something that you just totally forgot pops up, homework assignments due, tests that you didn't study for, whatever, that's going to be in this box. Now, it's still important and it's urgent, so you do want to take care of it, but you really don't want to stay in that urgent gray box too often. Again, we want to be in the green box. Okay, now coming back down to the yellow box, this is the not important and not urgent. Now, this is kind of wasting time, procrastination, and boredom. Okay, now it's not a good box to live in. It's actually not the worst. The red is the worst. We want to limit the things that are not urgent and not important. Now, at least it's not important, but at least it's not urgent, right? So this is the stuff that isn't the greatest, but it's not the worst either. So the final box is the red one, and this is the urgent and not important. So these would be like distractions, interruptions, addictions. And what I mean by addictions is like our cell phone, right? We got our cell phone, it's constantly buzzing, it's constantly trying to get our attention, and it's really not important stuff, but it feels urgent. Okay, so I'm going to encourage you all here just in a moment. We'll actually go to the next slide. I want to encourage you all to take some time and draw a box. Okay, so just draw a box just like you see on your screen, and label those quadrants: important, urgent, not urgent, and not important, just like you see on the screen. So if you have a notebook or a piece of paper, create a quadrant, create those quadrants, and list some things in your own life that fall into each of those quadrants. Now, you could just think about those, or you can actually write them down. We're going to be using our Google Facebook group to post some of your work. And we'd love to see what you come up with, if it's a picture or a list of some of these things. But what I would love to know most about is what you can do during these next weeks, months, or throughout your life, but especially in these next weeks, that fall in the urgent and not important quadrant. Okay, what are the things that you want to prioritize? The things that matter most in life, where you can invest in yourself and others, and things that you can do that keep you future minded. Okay, so we probably won't take the time right now, just because we want to kind of keep this content going. It's something that you can probably work on, in the next hours or days, and then hopefully you can post in some of our units that we have up in our Facebook group. But really think about those things that fall in the prioritize. That is the green box. Again, it's important and it's not urgent. Okay, so those are the things that we'd like to know most about. So we're going to go to the next slide, and I'm going to share with you a list of my priorities. Okay, so the things that would fall in that green box, the important things in my life that are not urgent. And I'm really grateful for the fact that I have more time over this past week, and probably in the next week, and maybe even future days and weeks, that I can prioritize these things. Okay, so number one, and these are kind of in order of priority. Number one is health and wellness. Okay, sleep, nutrition, and movement. Sleep is something that I need a ton of. Now, we're all different in the amount of sleep that we need. I actually know people who can get, very few people who can actually get like 5 or 6 hours of sleep, and they still function really well. Now, this is actually, I sleep a lot. I read a lot of articles. Again, if you want that PDF, just comment in the chat, or you can email us, or post in our Facebook group, and I'd love to share that PDF with you. But there's a very small percentage of people actually sleep that little, so 5 to 6 hours, and still function at their best. And it's like 3% of the population. So it's probably not you. Okay, and it's typically older adults as well. But for me, this might sound crazy to you, but for me to be my absolute best, I need to get 9 to upwards of 10 and a half hours of sleep to be my total best. Especially if I'm like feeling sick, or if I feel like I'm coming down with a cold or something like this, I just need a ton of sleep. And I might sleep 10 hours at night, and then I might even take a nap during the day. Now, for someone who likes to be productive like myself, I love to be on the go. I don't like to sit around. I don't watch TV. I don't do any of those, many of the things that distract us. But I hate having to sleep that long. But for me to be my best and to be my most healthy, I need to sleep for 9 to 10 and a half hours. Now, for most of you goalies who are tuning in, that's probably true for you too, because you're young, your bodies are still growing, you're on the go, you have lots of physical activity, schoolwork, all that stuff. So prioritize sleep. Nutrition, of course, is an important one. Coach Butts is an expert on nutrition, but most of us know the general guidelines for nutritious eating, right? It's not rocket science. It's eating your fruits and vegetables, limiting, highly processed foods and sugars and junk food, that type of thing, and drinking lots of water and staying hydrated. And then movement. I posted a video of me doing my go-to movement and flexibility routine, and I posted that in our Facebook group. And so I encourage you to watch that. Now, by the way, we had some comments that it'd be nice if we were talking through the exercises, and I think we'll do that in the future. But feel free to go back and rewatch that. And my hope is that that's not something you'll just do once, but you'll actually do that regularly, maybe every day or every other day. As you notice, it was only 20 minutes long, and it kind of gets your whole body engaged. So flexibility, range of motion, some strength, and all these different aspects that are really good. Foam rolling and stuff like that. Okay, so sleep, nutrition, and movement. I prioritize those during the upcoming weeks to stay well. Here's a really interesting one, and some of you might cringe at this, but it's to take cold showers. So just to be clear, I don't take a cold shower the whole entire time. I'm a morning shower, so I get up, shower. I really like a hot shower because it kind of, gets your respiratory system cleared out, and just as relaxing, relaxes your muscles. But here's what I do. Wim Hof is he's a world record holder in, like, I don't know, some 20 different things, and he's researched a method for breathing and cold water therapy. So I take my shower. At the very, very end of my shower, I will turn it down to about, lukewarm, kind of, let the water go over my body, and then I'll turn it down kind of incrementally until it's almost as cold as possible. And for the last, like, 60 seconds to 2 minutes of my shower, I will take an ice cold shower. And I know it's kind of crazy to think about, but I'll tell you what, I listed it near the top of my prioritization list for a reason, because it has helped. If I have, like, a sore back or neck, if I'm on my computer a lot, it has been shown to increase and boost your mood. So I'm in the shower, I've got this cold shower. As long as you're breathing deeply, you got to keep your breath up because it kind of takes your breath away. So keep breathing deeply, and it just gives you this boost of energy. Like, I just want to, like, let out a yelp. I'm just like, woo, this is awesome. Because think about it. Like, if you jump into a cold lake, right? What's the first thing people do after they get out of the cold lake? They run around like crazy, right? They've got all this energy because it boosts our energy. It's also shown to increase your immune system, boost your immune system. And it's supposed to alleviate anxiety and depression and generally improve your mood. Okay, so moving down the list, in the health and wellness category is my spiritual health. Okay, so this can look different for different people. If you're a person of faith, then spending some time in prayer or meditation or reading scripture. But I think it's really important that we have this mindset where we have faith over fear. Okay, now maybe that's a spiritual faith, but maybe it's just a faith that good things are going to happen, right? That the best is yet to come. That we don't have to be fearful in these uncertain times, but we're going to have faith that good things will come, will happen to us. Okay, so health and wellness, and I would encourage all of us to prioritize that. The second thing I'm going to have to prioritize, is my PhD schoolwork. Okay, I'm doing some work on goalie motivation, and I collected a bunch of data from people, including you, many of you, and now I have to analyze that data. And my schoolwork is very challenging. It takes a lot of time, and I know you guys have challenging schoolwork too. But I want to urge us all to prioritize our schoolwork even when we're not at school. And we're going to look at our schedule here in just a moment to see how can we put a priority on our schoolwork to stay sharp and be ready to go back to school once it begins. By the way, if you have online teachers are doing stuff online, it takes some time to get used to that online platform. So you might have to set aside a little extra time to get used to how they're going to deliver their assignments, what their expectations are, and how you can be your best student in a new environment. Okay, next on my list is Goalrobber and our e-resources and supporting our goalie community. So Coach Devin, myself, the Goalrobber as a company, our mission is to provide world-class goalie training through a whole person approach. Now that's a mission that I believe wholeheartedly in. And so we're going to commit ourselves to staying connected to you and helping you out the best we can. We're going to try to do this through our e-resources, and we've begun some of that. And I think it's just going to get better and better as we get more accustomed to and used to this way of communicating. I want to reassure you that we can still connect via FaceTime or Google Hangouts or over the phone about game film analysis. If you have game film from the school year, we're happy to look at that. If you want to talk about nutrition, you want to get your nutrition right, you want to talk with Coach Devin about that, great. If you have some mindset things you want to continue to talk about, we have some clients we've been working with a lot on mindset, how to be their very best person and their best goalie, great. If you want to put together a profile online for recruitment, to try to get to the next level of highlight film and your a biography about yourself and your statistics, there's different websites that we can help you out with there to try to have a long-term mindset about your development. There's just lots of different things. We're going to try to make some videos so you can work out at home and continue to develop that way, whether it's yoga or vision training, strength training, those types of things. And then, of course, Tendy Talk and mindset as well. Next down the list is, for me, it's connecting with my family and my friends. So I know that often takes a back seat, giving our grandparents a call and just checking in on them, asking them how they're doing, or FaceTiming with them. You got a smartphone, right? Writing letters and just telling people, that you care about them or that you just want to stay in touch. So connecting with friends, connecting with family. We're going to be in the same house. You're going to be connecting with friends, sitting down and having meals, whatever that looks like. And then finally is self-improvement projects. So if you're anything like me, you have hobbies that you really enjoy. And I want to encourage you to make those hobbies that are going to make you a better person. It's stuff on your bucket list that now it's that stuff that you might have said, I just don't have time, right? I just don't have time to do this or that. I want to do it, but I just can't prioritize it. So for me, that's going to be playing guitar. I haven't been able to play guitar as I'd like, to study chess, to read. I love to read for pleasure, so I'm going to try to read and journal, those types of things. And for an example, I know there's some people who are also passionate about Rubik's cubing. Maybe something kind of as silly as that, where you've not had the time that you wanted, but now you want to learn how to solve a Rubik's cube and get a little bit quicker at that. So I would just say, as long as it's making you a better person, these self-improvement projects are going to be great. And get creative, right? And maybe try to do them with a family member or with a friend, okay? All right, so moving on to our final topic, which is all about, okay, these are great, right? We've prioritized we're trying to prioritize the important and not urgent things in our life. We've made a list of priorities, and we'd love to see some of your lists about the priorities that are in that important and not urgent that you're going to focus on. And now we need to kind of make space, right? We've only got so much time in a day. Now we'd be wise to make some space and create a schedule. So I'm going to show you a schedule on the next slide here of maybe a typical day for me. Now it might not be completely accurate. It's pretty close. This is what I would call my ideal schedule. Now it doesn't mean I'm going to be perfect, but I would encourage you to have something that would be kind of similar. Maybe you're a morning person, so instead of waking up at 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning, you might wake up at 6 or 7 o'clock. So certainly modify your schedule to however you see best fit. And yeah, so we're gonna go from there. So a typical daily schedule for me, and this would be kind of ideal. Say wake up at 8:30, right? So we're gonna get up. I'm gonna have wake up kind of slowly. I like to wake up slow, so buffer some time in. Your alarm goes off. You probably want to jump out of bed, and get after the day. But you might want to just do some breathing techniques, whatever. Yeah, what's up, Zane? Good to see you. Good to see you here. Yeah, Shay's in the house too. So thanks for joining us, guys. So for me, I actually do what's called intermittent fasting. And so in the morning, I usually don't have breakfast. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that for our athletes, because you guys are just machines. You're trying to get stronger, faster, using all sorts of calories. But I intermittently fast. So when I wake up, usually what I have is my chai tea. I put a little half and half, some stevia that I'll put in there, and then I'll journal. Okay, so that could be either using my actual journal, or I might read some scripture or read something for self-improvement, and just take some time to be quiet and put down thoughts that are important, right? So what we don't want to have happen is that we wake up, the alarm goes off, and then our day is just chaotic from the start, right? People are telling us what to do, where to go. We're late for school. We're trying to cram down breakfast and so on. Other people are taking away our time. Or we wake up and we go on our cell phone right away. We got our nose on our cell phone, and we're just consumed by social media and the negative news and all this stuff. We want to wake up and we want to make sure that we're on our starting our day on our terms. and making sure we have good things in front of us right away. So after I'm done with some tea and journaling, then I'll probably do some stretching and movements. Again, I want to mention that, put a 20-minute workout up on our Facebook group. You're welcome to check that out. I really enjoy it. It makes me feel super, helps me loosen up and energize and just start the day. Okay. You might shower in the morning too. Just depends on when you're going to shower. I didn't really put that in here, but again, for those of you just joining us, ending with a cold shower, a really, really cold shower, like ice cold. This might take a little time for you to get used to, but try to end with like 2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes of as cold as the water can go, and see what you think about it. Give it give it a week. The first time might be a little bit painful, but I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, then fairly early in the day, I want to encourage you to prioritize your schoolwork. Now, I got my good old textbook here. Show everybody the old applied statistics book. This thing's a beast. And it takes a lot of time to try to do challenging things. So whatever your challenging coursework is, prioritize it for the beginning of the, that's when we're going to be most sharp. And you notice that I put from 10 a.m. until like 12:30. We need to put aside a significant chunk of time to do challenging things. So I also mentioned here that we want to set specific goals and brain breaks, right? So you might say, okay, I'm going to work on my schoolwork for like 2.5 hours, but that doesn't mean that we need to just like go the whole entire time. We probably can't even focus that long, if we're to be honest with ourselves. So you might want to set some goals. And as an example, something that I'll do is I'll grab my phone, and most phones have some sort of a timer. So I will set an alarm, right? Or a stopwatch or a timer. So maybe I'll set my timer for 20 minutes, right? And I've got my timer set for 20 minutes, maybe it's 30 minutes, whatever works for you. And I have to work hard until that 20 minutes is up, right? So, and I'll set a goal and I'll set a reward for myself. So I'll say, if I work for 20 minutes, if I work really hard for 20 minutes, then I can go play guitar for 5 minutes, right? Or I can work on my Rubik's Cube, or I can go get a snack, or I can go work out, or I can, whatever, play some online chess against Butsy, or whatever the case is, right? But they probably should be good, like good rewards, not like, oh, I can go, whatever. I mean, maybe it's video game for you. That's fine. I mean, not that that's such a terrible thing. But the big thing is, if you're going to go and take that reward and that break, make sure you put a timer on it too. So you might say, I get a 5-minute break or a 10-minute break, and put a timer on it. Once the alarm goes off, how's that thing? Back to your work. Okay, so we've got that schoolwork going on, set specific goal, and brain breaks. Now, there is an incredible book. I need to find where I put it. Yeah, it's right here. It's called Spark, and it's kind of a scientific book, but it's also really, really good, and it's all about how movement affects the brain. Okay, so if we're wanting our brains to be sharpest, we need to get some movement involved. Work out, go and just do something that's going to get us engaged. Okay, so schoolwork, maybe 2 hours to up to 3 hours in the morning. Get that challenge done first. All right, then a healthy lunch. Okay, we want to eat healthy. We want to make sure. I just got a text from Trinity saying she's not taking cold showers. Well, to each their own. But I would love for you to take a cold shower, Trinity, and tell me how it went. I think you're going to love it. All right, let's go to the final slide here, which is the continuation of a daily schedule. You notice that was the morning. Okay, get some good things. We want to start the morning on our terms. Okay, don't let your cell phone or something else start the day for you. Make sure you get some movement involved. Make sure you get some quiet time, journaling, whatever it is to collect your thoughts, get some movement going, maybe take that cold shower, and then do something that's challenging, for your brain, probably schoolwork in the morning. Get that stuff done. Okay, afternoon. I encourage you guys to find a time to take a nap. Okay, now naps, they're a science all their own. I love naps, and what the science says about naps is that we're going to want to take 20 to 35-minute naps. And I can put this again. I can put this on maybe our comments in the Facebook group or in our chat here too. It's a lot to remember if you're taking notes. But 20 to 35-minute naps. Those would be kind of a short cat nap. That's if you're just wanting a good boost of energy. Okay, that's before you're going to get into a deep sleep. So before we fall into that deep sleep, 20 to 35 minutes, set an alarm. Make sure you get up at that alarm. If you're going to go longer than that, you want to take somewhere around an hour and a half nap. Okay, it takes about an hour and a half for our body to go through a full sleep cycle. So again, 20 to 35 minutes. If you're going to go longer, like an hour and a half. An hour and a half would get you a full cycle of sleep, and very, very good for our body too. But where you wake up groggy, angry, drool all over yourself, is when you get caught somewhere between that half hour and hour and a half. So like an hour-long nap, 45 minutes, hour, no bueno. Okay, we want to take either the short nap or a full cycle. Okay, next, when you wake up from that nap, hopefully, if you've napped correctly, you're going to feel refreshed. So maybe we can set aside another hour to 2 hours for our schoolwork. Again, if you were in school, you'd be there from 8 to 3, right? That's a lot of time. Let's just say 6 hours at least of actual schoolwork, minus lunch and some breaks. Put in two 2-hour segments of schoolwork, and it'd still be less than we'd be doing in school. Make them productive, make them focused. Then in the afternoon, maybe get a workout in. Now, I don't know if you've got a gym at home, or if you've got some bands, you've got some foam rollers, or free weights. But we're going to be posting some exercises for you to do, some vision training, juggling. I know Coach Devin posted some things on juggling, so you can work on that. But get yourself active. You could go outside and take a walk. As long as we're not in big groups of people, I think that's fine. Get some sun, take a jog, those types of things. But I think getting some workout or movement in the afternoon is a good idea. Okay, healthy dinner. And then, in the afternoon or evenings, that would be some time where we learn something new. Okay, again, guitar, chess, maybe you've got something you've always wanted to learn, a foreign language, or I don't know, some sort of, goaltending techniques. Maybe you want to go online and check some things out with that, or you're reading a book that you want to complete. And then in the evening, some leisure. So this for me, this is when, can kind of do whatever I want. It's relax, watch a movie, hang out, play some board games with your family, whatever the case is. And then finally, have a good bedtime. So, we want to try to keep some sort of a schedule. That's the biggest thing for writing down your daily schedule, and make sure that it's not so different than what it would have been in going to school. We work well with structure. Okay, humans work well with structure. So make kind of a daily schedule that you want to at least guide your day. You don't have to be super strict with it, but it's going to help you stay on track and be your best. Be your best person and be your best goaltender. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. It's just kind of a summary of the message today as I close our first Tendy Talk is to be intentional. Okay, be intentional with your time. Focus on the things that are controllable. All right, don't worry about the things you can't control. Controllables. Control your attitude. Control the way that we see the world, and whatever we focus on is going to increase. So control our mindset and try to be excited about the opportunities this time brings us. Prioritize. All right, we talked about the 4 quadrants, right? We want to live in that quadrant that is the important and not urgent items. So I encourage you, make a list items that are important, but they're not urgent, and that you now have the time to work on while we are in this unique season. And then create a productivity schedule, right? So once you've identified those things that you really want to prioritize, schedule them into your day. Make a schedule and figure out how you can put those priorities into your schedule so you can be your best. We're going to prioritize sleep, eating well, movement, time with family, time with the important things in life, our schoolwork, and maybe trying to make ourselves better with something totally crazy and new, like a shower, or maybe some chess, or just some kind of cool, fun, and new novel things that we wouldn't have been able to do before. I hope you guys enjoyed the Tendy Talk today. Again, this is our first live for YouTube. And so, hopefully there weren't too many glitches, but we're going to be communicating with you guys through Facebook, our Facebook group. And we would love to see what you're doing. Okay, if you've got pictures or videos, you working out or practicing your juggling, or today from the Tendy Talk, a list of the things you want to prioritize or a daily schedule. We'd love to see that stuff. Remember that we're here to encourage one another. We're here to make ourselves the best we can be. Thanks so much for joining.
Oh, yeah.
See. What do you think?